Hey, this is Mike with 5 Minute Guide. This video is going to show you how you can create a list that automatically updates in Excel depending on another list and doesn't require a bajillion named ranges. So what we're going to do here is this is a very small example of what you could do with this. You could have hundreds of employees and a handful of managers or even hundreds of managers. You'll see I have a short list of managers, and then over here I have a list of all my employees, and each employee has their associated manager next to them. Okay, so what I want to do is create a list. I'm going to have it populate right over here that when a particular manager is selected, only the employees that work under that manager will appear here. And we're going to do this with only a handful of named ranges, and it'll be very easy to update if you have a large amount of data. I actually have another sheet over here where you'll select the manager, and over here you'll select an employee that works for that manager. So let's take a look at how this works. So we're going to need to use what's called an array formula. In order to make Excel register something as an array formula, you need to press Control, Shift, and Enter when you enter that formula, and it makes Excel look at it a little bit differently. Before we get started with our formula, I just need to explain that this entire section here has been named names, and then the list of managers is called the M_column. So that's going to be our manager column. So using those two things and a couple of other formulas, we're going to be able to get this to populate with the employees under any given manager. So we'll start with our equal sign, then type index, open parentheses, and the name of the entire array, which is names. You'll see it even kind of highlights the array there. Next, we're going to use the formula small, then if M_column equals, next we need to highlight the cell we're using to select the manager we want. So if M_column equals sheet 3 B4, and we want that to be an exact reference, so we're going to put some cash signs in there, then comma, row, M_column again, close that parentheses, close the one before it, comma again, row 1, 1. Close one more parentheses, and we're going to tell it to look at column 2. Right now, I just hit enter. You'll see I have Jim selected, and it's giving me Andy as the first name, who clearly works for Michael. So what happened was we didn't do the Control Shift Enter. So you have to be very careful about this because it will give you a result if you just hit enter, but it won't give you the right one. So Control Shift Enter, and now you'll see Jim's first employee is Pam. There we go. Now copy this and highlight the other cells you want to put that formula in and paste them in. Now you'll see we have the correct information in here. There's these little brackets around the entire formula. This tells Excel that it's an array formula. You can't put these in by yourself. If you just put those brackets in, Excel doesn't care. You have to do Control Shift Enter. But it's got these ugly errors down here. So we're going to change this formula just a little bit. Put the word if error at the very beginning, open parentheses. Then at the very end, put a comma and 2 quotes, and then close parentheses. This tells it if there's an error, then just do an empty quote. Remember again to use Control Shift Enter. Then again, copy the formula, highlight down and paste it. And now you'll see we have a nice clean look to this list. This entire list has been named employees. So now over on sheet 3, I have the data validation. The data validation for our select an employee tab is equal to the list employees. So when Jim is highlighted, we should get this list of 3 employees. When Michael is highlighted, we have his 3. And Dwight, apparently he just has 1 employee. All right, so that's not incredibly simple, but it works, and you can use this so that you don't have to constantly update a bajillion named ranges. So just one disclaimer here with this. The formula works best when all of these are nicely at the top. When they're not right up at the top like that, it takes a little bit more work to get it to work smoothly. So if you'd like to label your columns, I recommend labeling them down at the bottom. Other than that, the formula works for what it needs to do, and hopefully this can help you out. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.